welcome to the Sunday stream. We're gonna go over some footage from Gi class about a month ago now, I think. September 22nd. So let's dive in. We'll get rid of the position of the week because I don't know what it was. And naturally, Steven and I are not wearing our Gis. There we go. So we got Brandon and Caleb starting it off. Look at Brandon diving in on a leg.
Yeah.
He and I just talked about some Neon Belly like counters, I guess you could say, or escapes to work from there. It looks like he has the seeds of decent escapes, and working on it with Caleb is going to be, you know, that like top of the heap to try to perfect it. Caleb's Neon Belly has only gotten more and more effective. And Caleb's doing a great job using it to pin the hips. Like, you could see just how much control he's exerting.
I like that leg ride that he just did too. Steps over, but then points his knee down. Right, his right knee is pointing down. So instead of trying to fling over his right foot immediately, he's going to use his left knee to pin behind the knee and do a nice little hip switch here.
I'd like to see him kind of pass off Brandon's leg though with that. So like he's controlling with his right leg, right. And then if I feel like if he brought his foot right here just on top and then passed it off to where he then brought his right leg out, he could avoid doing this like hip switch where he ends up like in side control and just fall directly into a mount.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? He didn't have to go all the way out here. If he had used his left foot to pummel on top and then just kind of, you know, get Brandon's leg low, he could have settled in and possibly have settled into a mount.
Left leg to weigh down Brandon's leg.
Yeah.
And then slip into it. Yeah. I think that's good.
But like really, I mean, it falls in with that leg pummeling, leg riding, light passing approach. I have a feeling this is Caleb's like the time he was spending. He was spending as much time as he could floating and like maintaining mount, maintaining top position as a priority. As I say it, he goes into a submission, but we got the boys getting after it. I have the damnedest time telling those two apart in person. I'm not going to be able to do it over 720p, but they are so entertaining to watch. All right, let's fast forward here.
I like that Brandon's starting to cut the angle there. Got rid of the knee shield by sitting, looking into that reverse Kesa type position. You know, he went ahead and attacked the far arm, slipped into a mount. That was a nice progression from him.
Boys didn't hear no bell. Onward to Pat and Brandon. Are any of our students even? Okay. What's up, Joe? How you doing, bud? I see you in there, lurking.
Hey, Joe.
Kurt. We need a coach's square. People will stand. Pat using that bear trap of a half guard that he has. Set up a lockdown with it. Okay. He was doing good there for a second. It looked like he was trying to isolate Brandon. Nice.
Yep.
Gets a little scissor sweep.
And then
So, like,
Brandon straight into Ashi too. That was
Yeah.
nice.
Like right there, he's working. He gets Brandon off balance pretty well. Almost shoots into a deep half. Yeah, I didn't. Let's see how Brandon handles it.
Straight in. Look at that. That was good.
Nice. That's really solid. Because you know, you lose position, maybe you get swept or whatever, but you can immediately answer with an offensive. You know, I don't want to say a full attack because he didn't get Pat like knocked to his butt or anything, but immediately giving Pat something to think about. So Danny's putting on a Darce seminar.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. There we go.
Yeah, now everybody's off screen.
Yeah. Let's watch the boys pick on each other. There we go. You and Kurt. So something I really like about this takedown attempt from you is you have your head on the outside, which traditionally a head outside single, you know, we preach to white belts. It's a big no-no. Any wrestlers who come in and want to get serious about jiu-jitsu, we try to get them to understand the risk there, you know, risk being a guillotine or at least, you know, at the very least a front headlock. But you don't give Kurt a chance to set up a front headlock because you continue moving and moving and moving and pushing him, putting his hands on the ground. So he would either have to really dive in on something in order to like try to control your neck, or he just has to like basically sprawl until he can get squared up with you and stop you from moving, and then he can try to work with that head that he has captured. But
Yep. Yeah, I was using that top hand to press down on his head so that I can keep his hand on the mat until I can reach for that far leg.
right here.
Yep. And I didn't even have to reach for the far leg. I actually pushed on the hip. But yeah, I was trying to keep his hand planted because you're right. Like that was my saving thing. I knew that if he was able to square up with me, he was going to sprawl, and then my neck and back were going to hurt. So didn't want that.
Oh, I'm curious if Kurt's babying his back here a little bit, just because we know how much it aggravates him sometimes. But like that belt grip, he's like, you guys are angled on each other. He has something to work with there. Not a terrible attempt, but not
He
effective.
tried tossing me there, and I went ahead and tried to get the leg, and then yeah, he tried to reverse it on me.
Yeah.
I think we're rolling through because we started late.
Oh, right on. Same with Brandon and Brandon. Murdering each other up by the pillar. Brandon in on a triangle. I really like that Brandon, who is in the triangle right now, very early on has seemed to understand the escape here, the triangle escape, like the seated one with the legs crossed over the stomach or the chest. Really starting to dial that in. I know he's been caught there a few times still, but I mean, I was deep into maybe purple belt before like I started using that with any sort of confidence.
Yep.
What are you doing to Kurt here? You just torturing him?
I was standing on him.
Just surfing.
He does the Eagles perch thing on me. Get into my back. It's like, I can do this from the front.
You're like Batman, just chilling on a ledge, looking over the city. I'm surprised how long he's accepting this. Yep. Work into the dorsal position.
Yeah, I don't know if I was able to do anything with it. I think I remember this, going for this triangle. Ooh, I got a reverse triangle.
Yeah, but the angle's so far right now. In fact,
really
like,
is.
yeah, because I mean, your gooch is basically pushing into his neck instead of like your thigh.
Yep.
But I mean, you have the Kimura threat too, which is real. I mean, I'm sure you could tell when you were there.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to.
Yeah.
I was like, let me put some pressure on his head and see if I can get this arm out.
Yeah.
He wasn't having it, man. He was toughing right through it.
It looks like
putting pressure on my legs.
He probably knew where the real threat was, because I mean, look, you know, his shoulder is pretty separated from his neck, or it was there for a second. Now it's looking a little less, a little more dangerous for him right now. But I think he knows the real threat here is probably the Kimura.
You see me trying to dig for it.
Trying to crack him down to a hip.
Yep. When he doesn't want to go, like, I mean, he knows, like you said before, he knows when he's in trouble.
Yeah.
And he knew he wasn't in that big a danger there.
I think this was right before the last competition that Steven and Cole and Danny attended.
I think you're right, because you guys are working together.
Yeah, I came in that night to work on some stuff with them ahead of that. That's what's going on. Good long round for you too.
Yeah.
All right, you and Pat. I think Joe and Andrew were just getting after it there for a little bit. You're like, get me the hell out of here.
Yep. I tried to say Nagi, and like as soon as I made the turn, everything slipped, and I was like, nope.
Yeah. Pinball's watching in disgust
I know,
at
right?
our judo attempts. Yeah, I typically will hit or attempt Seonagi's late into the night when I know people are tired
Yeah.
and they're being real lazy and heavy, like forward real heavy, so I don't have to like rely so much on my setup, and I could kind of count on their fatigue helping me out.
Mm-hmm.
Like after a real hard round towards the end of it, if we've been doing a lot of takedowns, I'll start hitting them. Or honestly, yeah, when we do takedown rounds, I think Austin and I, a few months back, we had one, we went over here, and even Danny and I, and it's like I just save them until later. So I think Pat could do better with this back take if when he goes to break you down to the hip. So here he's weighing heavily on you. It's not enough. Right here, I'd like to see him focusing on pulling with the tight waist, like really thinking about pulling you down, leading at the hips, not up at the shoulders. I find that to be a lot more effective in putting somebody to a side. Whereas if he's pulling up at the shoulders, like I don't want to say he's in the way, because like you could say the same thing for about pulling at the hips, but I mean it's I don't know, I just find it to be more effective. I can't mechanically describe why that is.
I think it's because for the positioning that we're in, since he doesn't really have my legs locked down at all, my hips are free to move.
Yeah.
So it, unlike if you were to try and take somebody's back from close guard, or even when we shoot in from half guard in order to take the back, he didn't have any of, like, my legs were not locked down at all.
Yeah.
So I think tight waist is the better option because it prevents my hips from being able to walk away from him. Whereas if he's going at my shoulders, I can just pivot right around it.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, what I do.
If you wanted, this would be a great time to try to change his grip from a seatbelt to a power half, and work that. But right here, I would focus on pulling at the hips and like backing yourself up as you do it to pull him down to, pull you down to the waist, and then reestablish a connection. I do like that he's staying so. That was cool. That he's staying so, just like stuck to you right now, even though he hasn't established a connection. He's staying behind you every chance he can.
Yep.
Every time there's an opportunity for you to like sit out, he's denying it. A nice little rear trip there.
Yeah, this is so much easier to do in the gi, what I'm trying to do here, which is just continuously stand up. But he has so many grips, he can literally hang all over my gi to keep me down. But I don't remember if that prevents me from trying.
Yeah. Actually, we'll while we have our judo guy in the chat, Pinball, if you're paying attention right now, what is the name of this trip? Is it Tani Atoshi? Right there. I can't remember because it's almost like a Tai Atoshi, but you're behind the guy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Tani Itoshi. Okay, cool.
Okay, cool. You got the Japanese right.
Yeah. Solid guess.
I don't know how I got on top. How did I get on top? Oh, okay. I got it.
No, you're yeah. You're definitely you're our judo guy because you know a lot more about it than we do.
Way more judo throws and stuff than we do.
Yeah. No, I fully believe your BJJ credentials as well.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, James?
What's up, James?
I'm curious if Brandon, who's going with Austin right now, has a preference yet for gi versus no gi. So I know early on we were giving him shit for like taking the gi off on gi nights and not training necessarily with the same excitement for gi, but you know, a few months in now, I'm curious if he prefers like the gripping abilities here or what.
Right.
Honestly, man, our judo knowledge, well, I'll speak for myself. My judo knowledge comes from like I have the Kodokan book and I use that as a reference, but like Danaher started like when he released one of his, I think his first like Feet to Floor DVDs, and then like some of his stand-up stuff since, like that was a big educational tool for me. I just try to like remember the Japanese words, what they mean, and then put it together, you know, have it make sense. Like it's so easy for me to get like you know, Osoto, Kosoto, Gari, Gucci, Oguchi, all that stuff like kind of mixed up. So I have to like, I feel like I have to constantly see it and try to remember it. And then like you said Yoko Wakari the other day, and I was like, oh, all right, need to go look that one up. Let's see what Austin did here while I was talking. I can't tap anyone you know so much the kids. Well, you're doing great, Joe. Doing a good job. Let's go a little further back. I think Austin was immediately putting to work some of what Danny must have been showing him at the with the Darce questions.
Looks like he's in that front headlock.
Oh, great.
Yep.
Great. Now Austin's gonna know how to Darce.
That looked like that got tight. Oh wow.
Yeah, he got it.
Flipped.
I really like the mounted finish. That's my personal favorite way to finish it.
Yeah. You want to get it with the triangle.
Oh, solid. Great. So now Austin, with his long ass legs and triangles, is going to add to his arsenal with his long ass arms and start being a real pest. Caleb's doing a good job here in the passing attempts, but like I don't think he's making enough use of gripping on the pants to disrupt your knee to elbow connection and get chest to chest, you know?
Yeah.
Like let's look here. Like he hits
gi grips on me.
Yeah, and he hits this little switch here. That's, you know, slick. He's flanked you now, but he's not opening up your side guard, and that's all you need to just stay safe, get back to an open guard.
Yeah, it's like the friction makes it hard enough trying to keep my guard in the gi against the larger opponent, but yeah, if he used that an effective grip on my pant leg or something like that, that would have been game over immediately.
Austin.
Yeah, it's been about a month now. I don't remember how this turned out.
Let's look at Austin here, taking a page out of Danny and Steven's book, and passing with the threat of a submission. In this case, again, the Darce. So you can see it's hard to tell, but he's gotten, I think he's gotten Brandon's frame out of the way here. Brandon's left arm. I think Austin is set up or set in his grip. Quick switch, dives through on it. Yeah. That's awesome. I haven't seen this footage yet, and it was a month ago now. So I don't think Austin has tried to Darce me yet. I want to feel him working it.
I guess we're gonna keep going. And we probably started late.
Oh, you and Caleb?
Yeah. I remember splicing all the footage together and being like, well, I guess we're not gonna have many cuts.
Yeah. Huh? Yeah, I don't remember this match with Kurt. Doing the best I could to negate some of the grips he was getting on me by keeping a real heavy elbow down. Like if he managed to get a collar tie or a lapel grip rather, and I got an over grip on him, just pulling my elbow down, getting his elbow into a little bit weaker of a position.
Mm-hmm.
But he went for something, and I ended up in top position.
Yeah, he went for an Uchimata. Or some variation thereof.
I feel weird with his sons watching me beat their dad up.
Yeah.
So here I'm working into a real high mount, trying to keep one arm out of the picture, but he was making it difficult, so I guess I abandoned that. And now my focus is isolating an elbow up over the shoulder line. I don't know how successful I am at it, but and I don't know if I'm just like completely in no-gi mode right now because I can't see what my arms are gripping, but I've said it before, like a good way to get the arms when you're on mount is to bug the neck and vice versa. So taking that like kind of paper cutter-ish grip, you know, forearm across the neck, nice grip on the lapel, it's going to be a good way to get a guy to bring his arms up voluntarily. Well-timed sweep.
It's so funny. James said twin mounts because we both took mount, and then right as I'm getting swept, you get swept.
Oh.
Exact same time.
Jinx. Is it really? Got.
Yeah. So you had taken mount earlier, but then I wind up catching a quick mount here, push down on the leg, and just hop straight over. So then we're in twin now.
Twinsies.
Yep.
That's pretty well synced. Both of us just getting a little too committed.
Yep.
One day I'll learn to stop trying to like triangle guys who are significantly bigger than me and then just use it as a passing opportunity.
Yeah.
But whatever, I recover, get in on a shoulder crunch. And to the back. Kurt knows immediately I'm looking for lapel grips. I don't care about the hand fight. You guys have heard me say it a million times by now. I'm not focusing on the same thing I focus on when I'm on the back in no-gi. I'm looking purely for lapel grips to get bow and arrows and cross collars and all that. I'm not sure what I finished there. Oh, I guess it was just time. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think I had the right leg position for a good bow and arrow there. I kind of lost it and then was trying to adjust. Right. I don't think Joe and I have had a good gi battle in a while.
Damn. That's nice.
Whirlwind throw from Joe there.
Boom.
Slow it down just for the hell of it. Sacrifices, gets his butterfly hook in and just kind of keeps me going with it.
But you're not giving up on it, and you actually go in for a single leg.
Never. Establish a half guard and get myself safe. Pat and Brandon.
I'm trying to play De La Hiva, but Brandon's not really accepting it.
Good reroll from Kurt's boys here. Goes in on a single leg, gets his head caught,
Yeah.
keeps him going, gets into a mounted guillotine.
Pat's in on that the far side leg, trying to use his left leg to drive Brandon over onto the hip. He's getting it, but in turn he's kind of giving up his back to do so.
So yeah, I didn't see that. So he shot deep half.
It's a very shallow dig on the leg. But it looks like he's trying to tighten it up.
Yeah, and he's got Brandon off balance, which is a good start. I don't know. I feel like his foot, like his shin, could be pushing a little bit further, like putting a bit more force against Brandon to extract that leg, because he's gonna have to get Brandon's weight like behind this line, like back here.
Yeah. Over top of his foot, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's really got to get him. Yeah, like
There.
exactly.
But see how his foot winds up slipping as he does that. So he's, like you're saying, he's not using his shin to push. He's using it as a wedge, and he's using his hips to turn.
Yeah, and go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, and in doing that, he's just kind of letting his ankle slip by, so his hook doesn't stay firmly in place, and it winds up losing position. He reguards and gets back into a half guard.
And I'm curious what you think about this. Like he's got control behind Brandon's knee right now, but he really needs to switch down to the ankle to like fully extract it to where he wants it to be. Like when you're getting people off balance, because you'll play bottom half or butterfly half or whatever. You're really good at getting people off balance backwards. I I mean, I don't know if it's something you consciously think about, but like how soon are you switching from like control over the knee to reaching down to the ankle to the end of the lever to extract it?
It's a good question. The thing that you find is that people are really, like Brandon. I don't know if he knows that he's in trouble here, but he's doing a hell of a job of trying to protect his left foot, whether he knows it or not. And so Pat may not be able to reach the foot until he gets Brandon's ass off of his heels. And then, so as soon as to answer your question, as soon as I can get somebody to start getting their butt elevated off of their heels, I'm going to start grabbing for the heel or the toes.
So pretty early then, I would say.
Yeah, that'll be my priority, because as soon as you start flaring out that leg, it's kind of game over. They can't really get that back.
Yeah, they're immediately into leg lock defense.
Yep.
Brandon was doing good there. It's a battle to get your knee free. But... Oh, Joe and I are back, and I'm getting smashed.
Yeah, so you're in a half guard.
I'm in a 3/4 mount.
Okay.
Yeah, I captured his ankle, but can't get his knee apparently. Looks like I switched to kipping, but he's not smashing my head, so it's not going to work too well.
I'm interested to see or to hear why you would reach back to grab the legs.
Yeah, I mean, it kept my knee from getting low along the mat, which I need for an elbow escape. But
Nice.
Little kip to get what I could. Looks like and then I transitioned to an elbow escape.
Straight into a Sumigachi.
Did I have... Oh, I think I was just trying to pass the guard there. Okay. Hey, man.
Good.
That's how innovations happen. How did Brandon get behind me so quickly?
You were trying to take him over. I don't know if that was a result of him coming behind you or the reason why he was able to. Yeah, you don't always have that excuse. As time goes on.
You ever think about how it would be fun sometimes to just walk into a school with a white belt on and see what happens? I know there are plenty of videos on YouTube with guys doing that who are friends with the gym owners.
Right.
I would only do it if like the instructor knew it, but it would be fun. So like, oh, I'm just a white belt. Is that Pat and Caleb?
I believe so.
whoever. I think it's Caleb on top. Just got to get that foot free.
Oh, if it's Pat on bottom, good luck.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I think it's Caleb on bottom because Pat came up to me and was like,
"You're right."
Yeah, I just spent however many minutes in the bottom or on the top of Caleb's half guard because I couldn't get out.
Yeah. Did I hit a? I just hit a regular triangle. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know what you guys talked about. I'll just share my thoughts when I'm dealing with something like that. And this is heavily no gi. Is how I'm thinking about it right now. Since we just got done with leg week, I'd like to see if in your arsenal you're adding back steps into cross ashigarami. If Pat were to extract his knee, which he has, he's gotten his knee free. And if he took it like right here, it looks like he's going to a good spot. Like he's getting the knee down on Caleb's right side. So Pat's right knee coming to Caleb's right side. If he gets the knee down and then back steps his left leg over, he could enter into cross ashigarami. Great spot to work from. That would be, I think, my number one offensive thing to do, right? And then if you wanted to get funky, you could also, instead of going to that like cross side knee position I just described, if you went to the other side, but then rolled, in this case to Pat's left, did a shoulder roll, you could do like that kind of ninja roll into the into the back, assuming you can get Caleb's hips moving. Might be a tall order for him, but if you don't want to do any of that, Pat is in a good spot now where I'd really like to see him working on establishing this underhook very, very deeply and getting Caleb's left elbow above the shoulder line. Working to that position we love to get people in, with their arm pinned to their head. And from there, you can start to work on, smothering, things like that. Things that are going to make Caleb want to bridge, make him want to work to a different angle. If he tries to bridge, he has to undo his legs. That's your time to get your leg free. Yeah, that's like three things off the top of my head you could try to work on from there.
We went over the backstep entrance on Saturday.
Yeah. Pinball, another judo question, because I haven't been able to find a good answer like online. Diashi Harai and Diashi Barai. Is there a difference? What is it? Or is it just like people being lazy with their pronunciations and there is no difference?
Oh, one was on I thought Harai was on the sole of the foot and Barai was with the toe or instep of the foot or something like that.
I've never found a good answer from anyone of like, I don't know, anyone I trust to say that. But I've heard both and it always confused me.
Gotcha.
Harai and Barai are the same thing. Harai starts with an H. Start at the start of a sentence, but a B elsewhere in the sentence. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Interesting.
No way.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
It's also stupid and confusing, but whatever. I have my answer now. Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
I gotta digest this.
So if it's the first word of the sentence, it's H. If it's elsewhere Or if it's the first
Right.
word of the phrase, it's H. H. If it's elsewhere, it's B.
So there is no such thing as a Dayashi Harai.
Yeah.
It's
a
a Harai
Barai.
Goshi or Dayashi Barai. Damn. Okay. Cool. Call some people out on that.
Yeah. Can't wait till
Thank-
our students
Awesome.
start correcting us when we're lazy with it.
Yeah.
I started reading that what Pinball said, and I was like, is he just telling me that it's two different letters and it's a smart ass comment? And they're like, oh no, wait, there's something to it. He's like, one starts with H and one starts with B, idiot.
Like, yeah, I kind of asked for that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I looked that up a long time ago, and like, I think maybe someone on Reddit tried to explain it, or like, I can't remember where I came across an answer, but it wasn't it wasn't anywhere as clear and concise as what Pinball just said.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, that is as eloquent as anyone can say it, right? Like,
Yeah.
it just seems simple.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm just gonna repeat whatever Jameson says.
What are we missing? I feel like Austin is over here really trying to dig in on your legs under the chat. And then I want people to just take note of Caleb and I right now. I think I've pointed this out before, but it's just such a useful thing, and it talks, or it goes back to what I was talking about with when Pat was going with you, and I was saying I'd like to see him controlling your waist to break you down, to get to your back. Right now, Caleb and I are in a different situation, but similar mechanic. Caleb's trying to come up on this single leg, which I haven't been able to get free from him. But notice as he gets up to turtle position, just notice how effective a tight waist crackdown can be. Where I just put him back down. It's not I mean, it's a bit of a muscly move, but like I'm not so strong that I'm like moving, Caleb, who's much bigger than me, just with like my muscles or something. It's just a mechanical advantage that you have around the hips to move the entire body. So where Caleb had an opportunity here to maybe drive into me, to continue cutting an angle maybe around this way to secure that single leg, I try to shut it down by putting him back. Ideally, well, not ideally, I was intending on putting him to a hip and got him to his back here. But yeah, just don't think that and then shove him in the head. Don't think that you can't pretty easily put somebody back down on a hip with just a really effective tight waist grip. I believe in wrestling they call it a crackdown, which is how I'll just continue to refer to it. You got Austin in a knot right here.
Yeah, you're trying to triangle me.
You see the same thing with Goshi and Koshi. Ogoshi and Koshiguruma. Okay.
Yeah, like,
You just saved me more confusion. Thank you.
oh yeah, I remember this one. I wound up getting an
What
arm
was it?
triangle,
Okay.
but like I completely had him torqued.
Yeah.
It was like a twister, and yeah.
You know what that reminds me of? That the Turk that I showed you
Yes.
back when we were going to ADCC.
Yep.
Yeah, that one move I was obsessed with and haven't been able to make work. But that leg weave that you have with your leg is is wanting like you're trying to make his lower body turn to the right, and then with this arm triangle and pinning his shoulders, you're working in the opposite direction.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a little risky a second ago in theory, like right around here. Like if let's say you didn't have a good upper body connection, your leg is between his legs and you're kind of sort of somewhat behind him. But then if you get that, once you get that legs, once you get your knee down and your legs sprawled back, I mean, like he has no connection with his hands to your leg now, so your leg's pretty much safe at this point. But now you just get to put so much torque on him. And again, that's a whole nother family of moves, like the Turk comes from. I think they use it in I'm pretty sure they use it in freestyle, but maybe even folk style wrestling. Yeah, you twisted him up good.
He took so much shit when we trained.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's a masochist because all it's gonna do is make it worse for him. I just want to look at this with Pat real quick here. So Pat's kind of riding the waist on Kurt. So as long as Pat's hands are on the floor, I can safely say there isn't too much offensive threat on Kurt right now. Like he's largely, and we're coming up on the end of the round. I don't know if Pat was maybe working on maintaining mount here or what, but yeah, now we can see him starting to mount an attack by attacking the arms just as time runs out.
Joe looks game.
Always. Joe, I saw your athlete in selection ended up. Well, I guess the whole class dropped out, but the fact that it came down to 2 women was pretty awesome, man. Have you talked to her since selection ended?
Oh, me and him. Okay. Had to get dressed.
Brandon's back to eschewing the gi. Kurt almost throwing me.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Kurt and I get into some pretty vicious like hand fighting exchanges where it looks like we're really just trying to punch each other in the head, but mask it as grip fighting. Yeah, it makes sense. What was that?
Yeah, it ain't easy. I've never done it, and I know it's not easy.
So reach down for an ankle pick.
You end up in a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, right. Kurt pulls donkey guard. Watching that Jeff Glover stuff. How long until next selection? I can't imagine they do those things very frequently, considering the fact that you guys work yourself into like rhabdo level fatigue. You see this Caleb
Yeah.
hit this little watch Caleb and Brandon. This gets the front headlock, whoops a daisy. And then from the side. That's nice. 1 year. Okay. Well, she got time to learn from it.
Joe, I think this might be the round where I just spent the whole time trying to pass your guard. His grips were insane this night. If this is the same night that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, it looks like he's making it difficult.
It looked like I was gonna pass. I felt like I was gonna pass. And he's just not letting me have it.
Inverting really well here to
Yep.
looks like you may have, I mean, I'd call that a pass now. Right at
Yeah.
the end.
Yep. Right at the buzzer. Yeah, that was really good retention, Joe. Really good.
Nice double attempt from Austin, but not on my watch. Austin's guard strikes me as similar to like guys like Levi Jones, Leary, I think his name is, dude with like the purple hair. He dyes it purple, and
I know who you're talking about. Yep.
yeah, like and even like the Meow Brothers. I haven't seen them on the competitive circuit in a while, at least maybe outside of IBJJF. But they're the same kind of guys. They just like pull their knees all the way up and like just have a complete shield around their body that you have to peel away and untie and everything. Steven's trying to do some funky leg lock stuff. Every combination of of arms he can throw at him. Yeah, Joe's getting beat now.
I think that was Andrew's boy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hitting him with the Maki Komi.
So you're in a body
I
lock,
think.
or it's not a body lock, but it's a tight waist pass type of situation here. Curious to see how you're gonna continue this pass.
I think he was trying to buggy choke me briefly.
He's got, I mean, his leg is all the way across. You've got it shelved. Yeah, I was gonna say you just did a nice hip switch.
I think I've gotten his, yeah. I had both arms up above his head. really quick movement there, but kind of. I wouldn't even like call it like Toriando per se, as far as a pass goes. But you can just watch how I control. I control his knees, or at least I influence where his knees are pointing. Right there, hands to the knees. I imagine his right leg was probably pushing against me, because as I pulled my leg back and around, just a quick push of his knees out of the way while I cut around the corner. Keep pushing his legs away, and then settle in for guard, or for the pass. And then shove his head into the mat. Yeah, guard passing doesn't always have to be like a big move. My favorite passes are pretty much just like that, where you're just kind of quickly stepping around. Oh, I guess we kept going. Now just separating the arms, get the break. All right. We got Joe and Andrew. All right. Collar drag attempt from Joe. I like that. So we get the collar drag. Almost makes it to the back. Doesn't make it though. But still works to the angle. And then basically Tani Itoshi again, but from the side. Be very careful with these.
Yep.
You could tell Joe right here, like you're against his knee right now. You know, his foot isn't fully planted, which is a good thing for him. Tani Itoshi, or like that, you know, that either the trip we do from the back, like you saw me hit earlier, or the one where we completely sit our legs through and basically use both of our legs to trip. They're a lot safer from the back because you're not going against the knee in a way that the knee doesn't bend. So just keep that in mind when you're hitting these. You don't want to like throw your hips into it in the same way like the Kani Basami, the scissor takedown. You know, we advise not to do that live in the training room.
Yeah.
Be careful with that.
Itoshi is outlawed in Danaher's gym.
Yeah. From the front,
Itoshi,
or I'm sorry, from the side.
Guard, or jumping guard.
Yeah.
But he has the rule to where you can do Tani Itoshi if your head is at your opponent's back, but not in front of them.
Yeah.
And it's because of like what you said, the angle when you sit down, right, in order to get behind the knee. When your head's behind him, it doesn't put as much pressure against the side of the knee.
Yeah. But in competition, go for it. It's funny because, like, even competitions, they'll outlaw jumping guard and Kani Basami, but you never really hear any concerns over that one.
Yep. When you think about it, like, it's very similar to like the outside reap that you would do from a failed double leg.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of similar, you know, like, I mean, you see a lot of wrestlers getting into that position. It's just that they're a little bit more head on, right? They're not going at it on the side.
Yeah. I just want to look at this. So not the ideal scissor sweep position because Joe has his leg on the inside, that bottom leg. But it looks like, grab the pant leg there. Yeah, he blocks the far leg with his hand. Manages to keep Andrew from being able to base out. Yeah, me like I don't like it either. It scares me in the training room just because if you don't know it and understand it, like I feel like that's where everybody gets hurt. And like anytime we drill it, we always insist on one hand on the mat before you do it, so you're not just flying in. I've done it in competition before, without putting a hand down or anything, not with the intention of like hurting my opponent's knee, but it is such a great move if you like leg locks that like I don't want to just throw the baby out with the bathwater, you know. Just want to go back to Joe getting this armbar. We'll spin around for the finish. Yeah. I totally agree, Joe. But I think where Andrew's gonna need to improve, and this is just white belt stuff. Framing with straight arms is a quick way to turn a frame into a lever that's being used against you. So framing with the forearms rather than the hands, and all that's gonna be something he's gotta brush up on. But yeah, I think the best use of Kani Basami I've ever seen was Gary Tonin, and was it like Edwin Najmi or somebody in ADCC 2019?
2019,
yeah, where it was just a beautiful entrance to an immediate inside heel hook, and it's like that's exactly what that move needs to be used for. I think this is the end of it. Yeah. Cool. Good stuff.
Andrew's son, he got fed up with watching him train, so he just started jumping on his back.
Well, awesome.
Yep.
Awesome footage today. Great stream. Pinball, thank you so much for answering our questions. Man. Yeah. Always trying to get better with that stuff, so we really appreciate it. And thanks for hanging out.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're back to close guard this week. We've made it a full way through the cycle, so we're going all the way back to close guard. Thanks, James. See you later. Take it easy, guys. Yeah, so get ready for some close guard material. Bring any questions you have to class. As always, we'll be happy to go over anything with you guys. Not just close guard, but anything else you saw on the stream tonight. What else? Less than 2 weeks until the Naga competition, so we hope to see you guys training hard. If you guys plan on competing, we'll probably start easing up a little bit just so we're not risking any injuries or burning ourselves out or something over maybe after this week. I think we'll probably slow it down a bit. We'll see what Coach Luke has to say. What else? Anything else?
I think that's about it.
Cool. All right. Well, you know the drill. Follow us here. Subscribe if you like what we're doing. You can support us at coffee.com/MOBJJ. Subscribe over at YouTube as well. Really helps us out a lot. And yeah, we'll keep it at that. Go trim your nails and do your laundry. And do not be stinky. And get back to class. And we will see you guys there. Take it easy.
Later.